YouTube, Gemini is here, and it is top tier. Yes, this deck is really, really good. I've done some playtesting with it on the ladder. It was good before, even in the Casey Cup, but it's really good post support. I am enjoying this deck so much right now. We're going to do a cog run with it for sure. I know a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, wait a minute, is this Infernoble Deluxe? And yes, and no at the same time. It has its own strategies as well. So, yeah, with that being said, we're going to go over it. I'm going to talk to you about the skill. If you've never played this deck before, I'm going to go over a run. Maybe you see it during the KC Cup and you've wondered how this deck works. But yeah, basically there's two different parts. There's the Infernoble engine and there's the Gemini part and whatever other extra deck monster you want to run. So let that being said, let's go over to Gemini's first. First, we have Gemini's Lord Golknight. This is a brand new card from the deck build box. And for one time, I have to say, in a deck build box, this card is actually very good. So basically, you're going to want to summon this off your Ek. And when you summon this, or you can just summon it in general off your Ablation, this card allows you to, well, let me explain what Geminis do in the first place. We'll explain to you the Gemini mechanic. So Geminis, in order to gain their effects, have to commit an additional normal summon in order to do so. So essentially, the normal summon it twice, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. Most of the time, you're either going to get it for free off your double summon, or you're going to get it off for free with your Ablation, which already normal summons it for you, or your Supervise, which also allows you to gain its effects as it were a normal summon. But basically, I'm going to go over their effects as if they're normal summon. If this is normal summon, again, it gets the effect, when treated as an effect monster, to be able to add any spell or trap that mentions Gemini from its name from your deck to your hand. Now, you can run an additional copy of Gemini Spark, but I choose to play counter. This card is very good, and I'll explain to it with Shien in about a second. But basically, yeah, this is very, very strong to force them to negate one spell card, and yeah, it basically can combo really nicely and make them negate one spell, and if you do, destroy it. So very, very good in that front. So just having an additional spell negate, especially against something like Heroes, is really, really good. Now, or like any deck, even Salaman, great, you can negate Sanctuary and make it weird if they don't put the Phalanx in the graveyard or whatnot, or negate a circle. So there's even stuff you can do, but mainly against Heroes, negating spells is very, very powerful. Obviously, negate a Poly, then it can be hard for them to fusion summon at that point. They might have to take some really rude roots that they might not be ready to do. So there is that. But yeah, so basically this allows you to search any spell or trap that has Gemini monster in its text. You can even search Supervis as well, because this has a Gemini monster in its text. So you could search this, you could search Ablation, which again, you're already going to be able to do with your skill, which I'll go over soon. But yeah, this gets you Supervis, and this is also a very good card as well. You could also search this with Roland. We'll go over that in a second. But yeah. Next, we have Avocator Chevalier. So basically, when this is on this, when its effect monster gains its effect, you can send one equipped card you control to the graveyard to target one card your opponent controls, and if you destroy it. So you can blow up one of your opponent's cards. Very, very good to threaten your opponent going second. You run a ton of equips in this deck. You have access to your Durandal. You have access to Supervis, and you have access to Heritage, which can search Durandal. And you also have access to your Roland. So it's enough ways to get equips onto the field and equip onto your monster. And then be able to have access to... Oh, you also get your one with your skill as well if you set up your Gear Freak, so that's that too. Be able to send an equip card, pop a card in the field, very, very good. You can also cut one Chevalier and decide to play a copy of Dark Valkyria instead, if you wanted to. Next, we run Evocator Ek. This card is very good. When it's normal summon while treated as an effect monster, you could target one fire warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can target Charles in your graveyard and special summon it. Very, very good. Very dominant to be able to do that for the long grind game. You can even revive Gear Free. There's a lot of things you can do in that regard. Then we run our Gemini spells and traps, but I'm going to go over the Infernoble package first, just in case you haven't seen it. First, we have Gear Freed. So Gear Freed is very, very strong. It's kind of counted as part of an Infernoble package because Infernoble is main big boss outside of Charles. This is very, very strong. Basically, when it declares an attack in the damage step, you can non-target take any of your opponent's monsters or yours and equip it to this card. So very, very strong. If you go up against Bird, you can steal their Nightingale, and you're going to see in one of the replays that us doing that. And you can play around, but you're going to say, Sean, what about Robin? Well, I'm going to teach you how to play around Robin in that regard. Also, this can also non-target negate the opponent's activation of an effect when they activate it, and if you do, destroy that card. So very, very good. Gearfried is extremely powerful, also gains 500 attack when it's equipped, and it's even more powerful when you use it in combination with your Gear Blade. Very, very strong quick card. We'll go over it with the skill. Next, we run Infernoble Knight Renaud. So Renaud, on special summon, you control any fire warrior. You can special summon his hand as a level 1 tuner. When special summon, you can add 1 fire warrior or an equipped spell from graveyard to hand. Very good. It could be any equipped spell, even including your Superfist, your Durandal, whatever you want. And this could add Gearfried back if you want it in the recurrence in the long run as well. Next, we play our Infernoble Knight Astaflo. Basically, this can banish any fire warrior from the graveyard, special summon it, becomes that level. And then you can also banish this card from your graveyard in 2 turns, special summon any of your fire warriors that are banished. Not banished, any fire your warriors that are in your graveyard after 2 turns after this card's banished. You almost never resolve this effect. This is very good for making Dweller. Also, you can use this to make Nightingale as well. So there's another, I mean not Nightingale, but you can run Nightingale if you wanted to. But you could also run Robin as well. So maybe against Hero, it might make sense to tech the Nightingale in. Keep in mind that it's a limited 1 card, but we don't play any limit ones outside Rhoda. So if you wanted to cut Rhoda, add in like a 3rd Heritage, and then play Nightingale, that's also 100% okay. Next, we run Infernoble Knight Roland. So basically, if this card is sent to the graveyard any way possible, you get to add a fire warrior monster from your deck to your end of the end phase. Great way to recover Gearfried. Also, you can play this from your deck with Charles' effect, and then Charles can pop it in the end phase to get you additional search. Very, very good. If you used it for Noble Knights, you know to do that. On top of that, we are running Heritage of the Chalice. Heritage searches any Noble Knight monster or Noble Knight arms equipped. This can search your Durandal. This can search out your any of your Infernobles here, your Renaud, your Astaflo, or your Roland, or it can search out your Durandal, which can search out any of those, or also proc and revive if you wanted to as well. And remember, Durandal can revive any level 5 or warrior monster. Does not need to be an Infernoble Knight. So you could potentially use this as an extender as well, so keep that in mind. Rhoda, I don't think I need to go over. Just everyone knows what it does. It adds a level 4 lower warrior to deck to end. Not really explanation needed. Next, we have Gemini Ablation. Now onto the Gemini spells and traps. This card is cracked. It's really, really strong. Basically, you're going to get to play this for free with your skill. While on the field, it has 2 different effects. First effect, you can discard 1 card from your hand, special summon a Gemini from your deck, and it gains that effects. So most of the time, you're going to discard a Gemini monster that you reveal with the skill. You're going to summon out your Ek, and then special summon out your new monster, your Gemini Golknight, to be able to search a Gemini spell or trap. Sometimes you may make a rank 4 or threaten your Infernoble lines after that, but very, very strong card. Also, second effect, very, very good. You contribute 1 Gemini monster in the field, discard 1 card, special summon any fire warrior monster out of the deck, and then, as long as it was treated as an effect monster, which it will be if you use the first part of the effect on your turn. So most of the time you're going to use this on your opponent's turn, unless you double summon and then use this. That's a possibility as well. But you contribute this, that monster during the main phase, and then special summon any fire warrior out of the deck, then destroy any card in the field. So this becomes a disruption. This non-target destroys, so keep that in mind. Blow up any card in your field, your opponent has to respond immediately to this, or their card is destroyed, and they can't respond afterward. So very, very good. Can tutor out Gearfried on your opponent's turn if you do not have it already. Next, we have Gemini counter. As I said, this negates the spell trap. Supervis, this is good, really good. You could search this out in a lot of different ways, including sending it to the graveyard, getting it back or not. You could also search this out with your new Gemini monster, your Golknight. So this could search out your Supervis as well. Basically, you equip this to any Gemini, it gains its effects, as if it was normal summon twice. And then, when sent to the graveyard, not once per turn, this is where it gets crazy, revive any Gemini monster from your graveyard. So it's essentially a monster reborn in that regard. So if you go and summon out, let's say you go out and summon your Ek, then you special summon your Golknight, you special your Renaud, and you have this in hand, you equip this, then you can special summon back your whatever Gemini you synchro off, and then make your Charles. And then if you have another way to extend after that, you can even potentially end on like Charles Gearfried Dweller if you have you need a really good end for that. But there are ways to do it potentially. Not always, but there are ways you can potentially do it if you have the right hand. But there are some ways you could do that if you wanted to pull that off and really put up a really offensive board on your opponent, then press a board against so many different decks. Next, we have our Great Shogun Sheen. I say this for last because this is kind of weird. But Great Shogun Shine is really, really strong. Makes your opponent only be able to activate one spell or trap per turn. You can summon this off your Ablation after you pop a card. So if you go up against heroes, they activate their Poly, and you summon your Shine. And then they have to Super Poly it off, or they're not going to be able to activate any spell or traps for the rest of the turn. And keep in mind, this has to be on the field prior to your opponent activating it, that one spell or trap, so keep that in mind. But against some decks, this can really hurt them. So if you go up against some weird matchups that like to activate a turn of spells, and you can shut them down. If you go up against that FTK, if you go first, then it's hilarious, because then, you know, they activate a billion spells or traps. So if you go ahead and summon this, then they can only activate one, and they just lose. Even if they hard open the combo, they still lose, so it's hilarious. But yeah, really good, some specific matchups that you may want to do it in, for sure. Next, we run Charles Roland, full armor. Whoop. Just cut it from the deck. Lol, chat. And Dweller, Robin, Underworld Goddess, 1 Hida, for the Mira, 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman. This is great. This can revive any Fire Warrior upon destroyed and gives everything 500 attack. And Phoenix. Now, let me go over the skill, and the skill is cracked. Very, very broken skill. You can only use the first and second effects of the skill once per duel. So, locks you into level 4 Geminis in the main deck and Fire Warriors, but that's okay. Second part of the skill is where the skill gets really good. Reveal 1 Gemini monster or Gemini Ablation, and then send 1 Phoenix Gearblade from outside your deck to the graveyard, and then play Gemini Ablation from your deck or hand. However, if you play it from your hand, you get to add any level 4 Gemini or Fire Warrior monster. So, not any level 4, any Fire Warrior or Gemini monster. So this could search out your Gearfried if you play Ablation from the hand, or it could search out a copy of your, it could search out just the Ablation from the deck if you already have maybe a Gearfried in hand. You could do that as well. So really, really strong on that front. It's an immediate +1 with the skill. However, where this deck gets really, really crazy, and also setting up the Ablation potential for a pop in your opponent's turn, is the second part of the skill. And also keep in mind, it's a +2 if you add back Gearblade to your hand. So if you add Gearblade back to your hand, say you summon your Gearfried, and you banish it, then that's a +2 in that regard. So keep that in mind. Now, second part of the skill is where the skill gets absolutely insanely cracked. Reveal 1, if only your opponent controls the card and you're going second, add 1 Gemini Spark and double summon from outside the deck to your hand. So immediately that is a +2 without having to do anything. Well, if you're going second, then it's a +3 because you already have access to getting that Ablation. So going second, you've already +3 or +4 on your opponent, depending if you use Gearfried to banish your spell from the graveyard, and that makes it very easy to break your board, as you will see in the replays of this video. With that being said, on to the replays. Check it out. Oh, also just go over double summon and Gemini Spark if you never know this. Gemini Spark tributes any level 4 level Gemini, destroys a card in the field, and draws 1 card. So you don't feel like you're going insanely minus with this. It's like Signet Crosswipe, but better, because you get to draw a card on top of it. And then you have double summon, which you get this for free as well. And then you just get to additionally normal summon in addition to your normal summoner set. Okay, on to the replays. Enjoy, guys.
This is the Emirates.
Okay, that was the video. Guys, we're going to be doing a Gemini climb, the cog. So if you want to see the new support in action, remember, like, comment, subscribe the video, please. If you want to see Necro's content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like I said, leave a like, comment, sub. Catch you all next time. Bye, YouTube.